Hi everyone, this is Michelle with Life in the Doghouse with Michelle. We are going to make a 2-ingredient chocolate mousse. We are going to use Daisy cottage cheese. Usually I use the Good Culture, but I could not find any Good Culture. So this was the second best. So we're going to make this with Daisy cottage cheese that we're going to blend up creamy like yogurt. And we are going to use these zero sugar chocolate chips from Hershey's. These are the best. They don't have an aftertaste or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and blend the cottage cheese, and then I'll be right back. If you open up any kind of like cottage cheese or yogurt and you see like liquid on the top of that, do not dump that out. That's the whey protein. It kind of separates and comes to the top. You want the protein in that. So just mix it in there. Right, I'm going to throw this whole container in here. This is actually a 16-ounce container of the cottage cheese. This is a 4%, so it's not fat-free. For this one, you want it to be kind of like the regular. You don't want the fat-free because it's not going to set up as good, I don't think. The 4% or regular is going to set up a little bit better. So we're going to put this whole container in here, the 16-ounce container. We're going to blend it. This is actually a meat grinder, but I use it for blending this as well. I got this from Amazon. It is in my Amazon storefront. If I can link this to this afterwards, I will try. But I'm not making promises because I'm not savvy at that stuff yet. But we're working on it. So let's blend this up. Okay, so while we're going to blend that, we're also going to melt down these chocolate chips. I do these right in the microwave. And I'm going to do, it's like a cup to a cup and a half. And I think that this whole bag is like a cup and a little bit. So I would just use the whole bag, or you can use a cup. You can use less. If you like it chocolatey, then use it. Rick likes it chocolatey, so I'm doing it the whole thing. You could use a half a cup if you wanted to. But we're going to add a little bit of coconut oil to this too. The coconut oil will help this melt a little bit better without scorching. So I just take this coconut oil that's in here. It's not liquid. It's actually a solid. And we're going to get a little spoon, and we're just going to put just a little bit in here. So it's thick. It's almost like, Crisco, but it is coconut oil. So we're going to put a little bit on there, and it's going to help it melt really smooth. Very smooth melt we're going to get with that. Just helps to do it. So we're going to do this in 30-second increments in the microwave until it's completely melted down. All right, we got this all blended up. I think the chocolate chips are melted. I'm going to just transfer this into this bowl. I want you to see how creamy this is. If you don't like cottage cheese, most of the time it's because of the texture. So I encourage you to blend it. I use cottage cheese as sour cream. I can use cottage cheese as ricotta. It's just higher protein and lower calorie. So try it blended. You might like it, actually. You might like it blended. Most people just can't get past the texture. Anyway, look how creamy that is. It's almost like yogurt now. You wouldn't even know that that was cottage cheese. And I make a dip sometimes that I put taco seasoning in and some cheese. Oh my God, it's so good. And I make it with this, with the blended cottage cheese. I always keep a tub of cottage cheese blended in my fridge and an unblended because I like to put it in my eggs too. I don't mind the texture so much. I did when I first started eating cottage cheese. So that's why I kind of started blending it and then found out I could use it in other things. Now the texture thing doesn't even bother me really. So we're just going to get all this out of here. All right, so I did 3 increments of 30 seconds each. And look how creamy that is. Look how creamy that is. The coconut oil helps that because you don't want your chocolate to scorch because it'll seize and you won't be able to use it. All right, so that's all nice and melted. So I'm going to pour it right over top of this. Right over top of that. I'm going to leave a little in the bowl. I'm going to mix this up a little bit and see what we have. This is like, you can eat this right like this. After you put it in the refrigerator, it turns into almost like a frosting. But it's good either, made right away or put in the fridge. I don't know if you could freeze this or not, if it would make a good ice cream or not. We have not tried that. So we might have to try that one time and see. So we get a nice chocolate color going on here. We're just going to make sure it's well combined. So that's a very light chocolate color. Make sure I get all this. I still see some white in there, so I'm trying to combine it all. All right, I think we'll be good with the rest of this chocolate, so I'm going to pour it in. My mom said always lick the spoon. Always lick the spoon. All right, so this was actually one bag of the Zero Hershey's chocolate morsels. And these are zero sugar. And they don't have that aftertaste. Like sometimes I use Lily's. They're way expensive. But they sometimes leave a little bit of an aftertaste where these Hershey's don't. They're hard to get a hold of. I got mine at Walmart. But you can find them online and stuff too. Probably Amazon. You just might pay a little bit more for them. But keep an eye out for them. They also have peanut butter chips. Rick's not really a peanut butter person, so I usually just do chocolate. So, all right, let's set that over there. Let's mix this the rest of the way in, and then I'll show you the end product. All right, guys, there it is. And it's very thick. I'm almost wondering if you could scoop this out on a cookie tray and bake them into cookies. I don't know. We'll have to try that sometime too. But look how thick that is. You could use this as a frosting, but it's a really nice mousse. But it gives you that, if you have that sugar craving, that sweet tooth at night, this is a good way to get it. And it's 2 ingredients. It's cottage cheese and zero sugar Hershey's. You can use full flavor Hershey's if you're not watching sugar intake, for sure. So let's give it a try. Look how thick that is. It'll stay right on that spoon. Look at the beautiful color. Now let's give it a taste test. Guys, gotta try this. God bless.